Gucci bag, Fendi bag, Prada bag, Louis bag, Gucci bag, Birkin bag, she in a bag, she drip, she swag, never mad, she glad.
Hey y'all, what's going on? Welcome to another episode or installment of Red Couch Conversations, y'all. So listen, I know that y'all normally see me on Sundays, but I've been kicked out of my Sunday spot. I'm just gonna keep it real, okay? I've been kicked out of my Sunday spot, but I'm trying to find the right spot for me. So if y'all got any suggestions or where you think I would get more visibility, then I would appreciate that. Just let me know. Give me some input. As y'all can see, I got my number one man back here in the studio again. My homie Nick done stopped in, and we was having some conversations earlier today. But first and foremost, how has your week been?
Tumultuous, but that's just what it is. Rest in peace to my homie Woodrow Shivers Jr. My partner out of Pompano Beach, Florida, man. Passed a couple of days ago. I don't have all the details, but this was one of my day ones as far as my roommates in college. He was one of my first official roommates. Shout out to John.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
Oh yeah, man. It's 52, bro. I mean, it raises a question, man. You know how they always say, well, for a second they used to say 30 is the new 20 or 40 is the new 30 and all that. Man, so I guess on a life expectancy rate, I guess 50 is the new 70.
Right, it is. It's like, man. You ain't lying. It's like crazy. Like I feel blessed to still have my father, and he is 79 years old. Like I feel really blessed to have him still here. And also I want to say to Shay that is part of the podcast studio. I want to extend my condolences to her on the loss of her father, her and Breezy. Of course, y'all package deal. So I'm extending my condolences to both of you guys. But yeah, it's like life expectancy is like, it's not as like it used to be. And it's crazy, when I first started doing this show, it was like I was talking about sex and relationships, and I would have like all these conversations about different things that was just funny, my point of view on different things like that. And it seems almost like the show is kind of like going another way now, because I'm starting to talk more about things that's going on in the Black community and trying to be a little bit more informative as to things that's going on. Because I'm telling you, I be having some conversations with people, and it just be like, how I talk to you and I be like, save it to the show. Like, let's not talk about it right now. It be things that I be feeling like I want it to be like, I want to get a natural reaction out of you. I want you to get a natural reaction out of me or whatever. But before I get started, I just want to ask you guys to go and subscribe to my YouTube channel as Simply the Baldhead Truth. Go on there and subscribe, hit the bell, and so you can get an alert as to when I go live. Because right now, I really don't know when I'm going to be going live.
So, right. And kicked you off for Sunday.
Right, I was trying to tell you something that happened. They done got
that.
Things is different.
You've been banned from Sunday.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell you this. It's like I be so tired from work that it's like really hard for me to do the weekday. Because like yesterday, I did like 2 runs yesterday.
And see, that's why I get there early, just so to create a possibility, just in case I don't have a number of pickups.
On my first run, I had 5 deliveries, but it was everything on my truck was liftgate. Like everything. It was like
really not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I know, but then on my second run, I had 12. It was like, that shit was like rough. It ain't like I went and had 5. It'd have been different if I had 5 pallets. Yeah. But I had to unload 13 pallets. My truck hold 13 pallets.
For five runs?
Yeah, at 5 different places.
That's what I'm saying. 13 pallets,
right?
Spread out across 5 different places.
Yes.
That ain't.
I had to unroll that lift gate, roll it back, climb up in that truck. Then you get there, and it's like it makes you. But I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you this.
Motorized.
But let me tell you this though. What really made me tired is when people get there. First of all, the area that I work in is stores, so they say what time they're gonna open, but that should just be a suggestion. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna open around 9:30ish. And then when they say they're gonna open around 9:30ish, then you get there. I done called them and tell them you got 5 pallets coming. Now, I need to make room. So can you give me 10 minutes? Can you give me 20 minutes or whatever? So it's just always something. You know what I'm saying? But
these are the pallet.
Right, the Pallet Chronicles. But y'all, I think we're gonna have a really good show today. We're gonna be talking about different things that's going on in the community. You brought a lot of stuff that I have been like watching in the news, because I tell people all the time I be watching the news and be seeing the stuff that was going on. And one of the things that you brought to my attention was the Jonathan Majors dude. So if you guys don't know who Jonathan Majors is the dude that was that he most recently came on the scene because he was in Creed 3.
Well, outside, what really put him in Creed 3 was, you got Lovecraft.
Yeah, Lovecraft, yeah.
You got
Devotion.
Yeah, Devotion.
So mind you, that movie Devotion that he was in is a true story, and it's about a black airplane pilot who was like not given his respect and all of that because of racism, and he was like the top dog pilot when it came to piloting, and he had to take a back seat to the white pilots who weren't as good as him. A
common thing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I won't necessarily say I'm about tired of those type of movies, but they're getting too redundant. And then I look at it like, that's the only light they want to cast on us to keep us somewhat in a Hollywood box. It's like the narrative never changes. I'm tired of whips. I'm tired of protests.
Oh my God!
Listen, riots. I'm tired of slave
and the crazy thing about it is that y'all realize that y'all know that this is what happened to us because y'all making movies about it, and it's how brutal it is, or whatever, and y'all making money out of it. But then they say we don't want to talk about it in the schools. We want to take it out of the curriculum. You know what I'm saying?
Well, visual is always better because it's called like faithful reminder. It's visual. Like I said, this right here now, as well as television and the silver screen, are the greatest indoctrination tools ever made. There are more people, and you know that from when we was young, that would prefer to look at a movie as opposed to read a book.
Yeah.
It's like, let's say, Uncle Tom's Cabin. The book by far is way better than the movie because the movie is more detailed.
Yeah.
Another example.
Yeah. The Color Purple.
The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. I mean, I like the little thing Oprah did, but when you read the book, Rebecca, I think her last name is Sklootz, but Rebecca Sklootz, man, she takes you somewhere else, and it rang so many. It touched me because I'm a cancer survivor. I had Hodgkin's disease. I had a tumor removed here. She was one of the earlier individuals that they were experimenting with as far as radiation treatment.
Yeah.
And she described it in that book like when in radiation treatment, there is basically a laser beam that shoots down on the cancerous areas. Not only does it eradicate cancerous cells, but it actually eradicates good cells. Yeah. Which is why you vomit so much.
Well, you know what? I'm a cancer survivor, and I want to tell you that I was a G. I had 24 chemo treatments. No, I had 16 chemo treatments and 24, and I had 24 radiation treatments.
Oh, okay, yeah, you got me. I had radiation treatment for a whole summer. I got about this little.
And I did not throw up not one time. Get it for the people. Yes, I
clapped to that.
That was a big deal to me. I was a G. I'm telling you. Woo.
Every morning, you gotta realize I had the beam shot here.
Yeah.
So it left.
Did they put that thing over your head?
Yes, they did.
Now, I don't know
still
if I
have
could
the
have
mask.
did that. Yeah, they could. They put this so you won't move.
I still have.
Yeah.
But they also put that mask there because it also protects you from the beam.
Mm-hmm.
But because they put the mask in a certain way and the direction of the beam, it made everything right here and all right in here dark.
Yeah, that's how it did me. My skin was tougher. Like when I went to go get my implants done.
I had a George Jefferson.
Yeah.
My hair. One day I'm cutting my hair and I picking it to
right.
Picking and man, I picked it
and it all came out.
And I hadn't even really trimmed it. And it just started coming out. So I just started pulling.
Yes.
Man, I pulled it until I looked like Sherman Hemsley.
Right. You know what? Let me get back. Let's get back to Jonathan Majors, though. Yeah. So Jonathan Majors, y'all, if y'all hadn't heard, he was, like I said, the dude that played in Lovecraft Country. He played in Devotion. He played in Creed 3. This was one of the latest movies that he was in. So he got into, it was a very good movie. He did his thing in that. So
at the end they solved their issue.
Right. So here's the article right here. He was arrested in New York City for assaulting a woman, and like his reps are saying now, he did nothing wrong. So I did a little research on this situation, and he's the one that called the police.
Well, let me tell you something. Whenever there's a domestic issue, whenever a woman or whenever the individual who feels wronged call the police, basically you are in a 50-50 situation to where you putting in your death call.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna tell you this. Like, I've seen situations and observed like family members who had domestic disputes with their significant other, as well as my ex-boyfriend. He told me, he said, if you ever call the police on me, that's it. He was like, we are not gonna get back together. Like, that's something that you can't come back from. If you ever try to get me arrested, because that, like you said, if you call the police, it's a good chance that the police might kill you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you look at the essence of the law enforcement, they've been weaponized against you since the beginning. What is law enforcement? Law enforcement is supposed to protect and serve, but law enforcement is nothing but legalized game. Pac said it best. They the biggest gang of niggas in the city.
Yes, it is. They are.
Think about it. Law enforcement originally was designed to protect property. So you have to ask yourself.
The law enforcement was originally Ku Klux Klan members.
No, it wasn't.
That is from what I understand, and that's what I heard.
Ku Klux Klan didn't start till 1866 in Pulaski.
Well, okay, so let me say
law
this then.
Law enforcement has been here since
it
was a law for you to leave the plantation.
So I'm not going to say that they created. They were created by the Ku Klux Klan. But there was a large majority of police officers that were Ku Klux Klan members.
The saga continues today. But as far as the essence, hell, black folk always been law enforcement. You know what they call them? Then they call them overseers.
Yes, overseers.
That's all.
But let me say this:
officer.
Yeah. So the situation with Jonathan Majors is, I guess his girlfriend was looking through his phone. And they got into it. Yeah, they got into it over the phone. And so when the police arrived, y'all.
Phone, a monster.
Right. So when the police arrived, she
is undefeated.
Right. When she arrived, they had they had been tussling over the phone. So of course,
actually there was some actual altercation.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, he called the police to get them to be there because she has seen some things in his phone, and she was basically like attacking him. So when
every woman in America want him,
right? But
even though he look like like he want a dude.
You know what?
But he's not like that.
No, he's not. Yeah, he's not like that. That you talking about the picture? Yeah, that was what they just put him in that, and he kind of just, I guess
surrender,
right,
regardless of our image. so compromising. And
but
so
the thing about it is, with him doing that, I feel like, I'm not saying that because when I first saw it, I was taken aback by it. But I've met a lot of guys that will say, I'm confident in who I am, so it don't matter what you put me in. And so I get that.
Remember
with
what
that.
I said last week? What's the most powerful thing a man has?
Is masculinity what? No, what was it?
The most powerful thing a man, woman, and child has.
What?
Perception.
Yes, I agree with. I mean, I understand.
You're confident.
Yeah, but back in the day, you used to see guys wouldn't even wear pink. Okay, now they wearing pink and everything.
Now watch this one. Okay, watch this. I'm gonna throw this at you. You go to prison, right? You're a full-blown heterosexual, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have sex with a dude in prison, whether you force it on him, whether you suck his dick, or he sucked your dick.
As we far enough in that we could say this on YouTube?
I'm sorry.
No, okay, we far enough in. Go ahead.
Or whether you have it done, and you still heterosexual. Guess what?
No, you're not heterosexual.
Your ass homosexual,
right?
And then they got a thing. I'm prison gay.
No, that's not a
that
thing.
tendency been there. If you want to do that while you in there.
Yeah.
And you know, I can't say for the individual that has it forced up on him, I can't say that dude is gay or that woman is gay because
they was raped.
Yeah, they was raped.
Right. So you can't say that they gay.
You consent to that. And I don't care if you got a wife or if you got the most heterosexual image, your ass gay.
If you did what now?
If you gay, if
you prison gay. Yeah, prison. It ain't no, it's not. Yeah, it's life is life, and that's just the path that you chose to take being in prison. So if you, I mean, because I know now it be people that I be seeing that I have friends that be like they done did like 18 years and 20 years, and they be like they ain't never had no.
Let me stop cursing because people are going. Let me stop.
Right, they say they ain't never had
did it for y'all.
Right, they never had no gay interaction. That'd be like, wow.
But, you know, we digress. You know, you can get back to majors.
Yeah, but anyway, so the situation is, you know, now the girl has recanted her story. She says that it ain't like it, you know, ain't what really happened. Hold on. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
There are witnesses now which was a driver, because this happened at 11:30 a.m. in New York City. So there are witnesses now, which was a driver and a bystander that says that the account that she gave to the police was not accurate. And so she has dropped the charges. But as a result of what he was arrested for, because they accused him of strangling her and, you know, assaulting and specifically strangulation. But he's lost a contract because he had a contract with the U.S. Army because of the movie Devotion. He did 2 commercials that was going to be released, and the Army has said that they don't want any affiliation with him until he is cleared of the charges.
Okay, I'm gonna drop some signs. Dig this. Okay, first you said that that she dropped the charges because there was a possibility that her story wouldn't stand up or something like that.
No, her story did not stand up. The people, the story that she gave the police, the arresting officers, were contradicted by the driver of the car that they were in.
So speaking from a litigation standpoint, if somebody was fighting against that, they could win on a technicality.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because everything counts. A technicality can throw the whole case out.
Mm-hmm.
So that wouldn't,
because it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt, right?
Beyond a shadow of a
doubt. Yeah.
So now check this out. First of all, this black man is stained for life now.
Yes.
Because regardless of whether he did it or not.
Yeah.
Always remember, the court of public opinion rules. Perception, once again.
Yes.
It's about how people gonna see him. Then you think about it. Now you finna bring up the ghosts of the Tulsa riots. You finna bring up the ghosts of Emmett Till. You finna bring up so many ghosts of men that have been killed, lynched, whatever, lost their lives, all because of either a lie or faulty statements based on a white woman.
Yeah.
And
and the one with Emmett Till, she just came forward and said that she actually lied on
the damage is
right
done.
and the crazy part about it is that they still it's been no repercussions for that lie. And like they have not done anything about that.
When you less than human, it doesn't matter if
that's horrible.
If you less than human, it don't matter whether they right or wrong. Those are ones in power. Black men and black people in particular, we don't have any power. So what they say goes. Until you control the land, until you control the resources, until you create litigation, until you create legislation, until you control the multinational corporations in this military, industrial, financial prison complex, you are powerless. I don't care how many hip hop videos.
And then, but let me tell you this, another thing though. Another
thing. These Negroes ain't got nothing.
What's crazy to me now is that they are trying to take. They're trying, like, just say, for instance, they had a book, or the movie is a book or a movie. I think it's a book called Ruby that talked about the little girl that integrated the school system. Yes. So, right. So they are petitioning to take that book out of the schools.
So now why
because they said that it makes the white parents are saying that it makes their children feel bad. But the thing about it is that what my argument with this is, and I'm gonna let you make your point, but my argument with this is that I feel as though you want to erase things that has happened in our history and not be able to show our children how far we have come in order to have that pride that they need.
It's a lot more deeper than that.
Yeah, and I believe that. But what I'm saying is how is it that everything that that people have done against us, they want to erase it because they feel bad. Well, my thing is that when you out here doing this shit, then you should think about generations to come, how it may affect them. If you want to worry about how if it makes them feel bad, but what about the fact that we can show at one point they didn't even want us in school. We had subpar conditions. Now we've had a black president. We've got a black vice president. How is it that
neither one of those matter?
Yeah, right. I understand that, but what about the pride in our culture that shows how far we have come from where we used to be? Why? We've come a long way.
Oh, you think?
However, I understand, but don't get me wrong. I understand when it comes to a lot of things that it's still racism is still alive and well. Don't get me wrong. I believe that racism is when a group of people are able to invoke financial and economic change against other people based upon the color of their skin or just a group of people. That's why I tell people all the time that black people do not have the power to be racist. We can only be prejudiced.
Okay.
You understand?
Good one. I ain't mad at you.
Yes.
You hit the nail dead on the head.
Right.
Okay.
So my thing is that I feel as though it is a slap in the face for everything that we have been through to not want to be able to talk about. Now, just say, for instance, this. If you don't want to talk, if it makes you feel bad, then get up and walk out.
Right.
Just like how kids used to have back in the day where their parents can write a note and they didn't have to participate in gym class because little Susie doesn't feel good or she doesn't want to take a shower because whatever the case may be, then let her walk out the class. But my child has a right to know where they came from, how they got here, and what path we are on as a people. If we keep on progressing and keep on walking this path that we are going right now, come on. Don't dim our light because, because you got, you're embarrassed now.
Well, see, you got to understand, there is a movement to erase all of that. Because, see, America, as far as the facade, is supposed to be an egalitarian society. That's why you got commercials like "This is our country." I mean, America's supposed to be the most perfect place on the world, but once again, America is nothing but a business. It's a corporation founded in 1871.
America is not one of the greatest countries in the world.
But you got to understand.
It is not.
But we know that. But
yeah.
That's the point. They are trying to convey that image. They are trying to erase all of their wrong, because all of their wrong.
It's all about. Hold on. I want to read Butta's first comment. Put that back up.
But dig this. You got to understand, it's supposed to.
But the thing about it is just like they try to tell you. First of all, this is my viewpoint. You and I both know this. Okay, but what I'm saying is,
the point I was making.
This is the thing. Just like when Marcus Garvey was saying we're going to do this Back to Africa crusade.
No, back to Africa movement. Black Star
right,
Line, yeah.
Right.
Universal Negro is
right. So listen, one of the things that, and then me growing up, we always heard that Africans didn't want us to come back there, and all of that type of stuff. And they had this whole big thing last year or year before last, like return to the motherland.
Well, they've been doing that since the Hebrews.
Yeah,
since the Hebrews.
But my thing is, of course, a certain group of non-blacks will not want us to leave the country, because whose neck they gonna put their foot on if we all leave? Or if we all go over there. Now, I
can never get rid of you, because if they get rid of you,
they can get rid of me. They can get rid of me. Say the word. Put me in a position that I can go and thrive somewhere.
You don't understand the individuals that are on your level or lower than you, which suffers from the division created by the oppressor, the powers that be, or the enemy. Those are the individuals that you'll hear resistance. But the individuals that control this country, that actually run this country, that actually put the Obamas and the Clintons and the Bushes in their place, you can't lead this country. When you lead this country, you take ingenuity away, you take voluptuous shape away, you take beautiful hair away, you take full nose away, you take melanin away, you take labor away, you take all the things that they benefit from. They'll never let you go.
Anyway, let me say this. Let me read what Butta says. If the black teachers, principals, or workers don't step up and voice, it will continuously out black culture will always be shut down in the unheard in school. That's where the social clubs, car clubs, and MCs and any nonprofit leadership
in the house.
To step in.
I mean, before the black teachers, the principals, or the workers, it start in the home. The black teachers.
Hold on, here she go right here. History also starts at home.
Bam.
We have to educate at home. It takes a village. Hey, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, she said that. That's the same person. Yeah.
She owned it. That's right. It's starting at home. I mean,
thank you, Lincoln.
Before you even get to the schools, which is basically step parent factories today, as a result of the laws created by the state, the various state boards of education, as well as the diabolical National Education Agency. You're taught to be dumb in school. You're taught to be a worker. You're not taught to work in the private. You're taught to work in the public. Hence the reason why it's called a public school. You are taught to be.
I didn't go to a public school.
Now I'm not taking anything. I'm not taking anything from the teachers, because I taught for years. I'm not taking against the teacher. Taking anything against the teachers that have an earnest and an honest heart and really trying to do with their children based on the curriculum that they have. But you got to understand, the curriculum is taught for you to be dumb. In a lot of neighborhoods, it's nothing but what you call a neighborhood to prison pipeline.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, though, you have some teachers that are passionate about their job.
It's a lot of them
want to teach these things, but just like an episode of Bel Air that just was on recently, and the teacher there wanted to teach. She went outside the curriculum, and she ended up losing her job because she wanted the kids.
I almost lost mine a whole lot of times
because she wanted to teach the kids about blackness. She wanted to teach them about great black authors. She had them reading things in their own spare time and giving them extra credit for stuff like that.
The grain of the National Education Agency curriculum, which by the way, most of those individuals have never taught a thing, and they are in like the fields of finance or economics. They're not even teachers or educators.
I want to say this though, and then we're going to take a commercial break because we're going to go to another topic. Oh, we'll keep going. Okay. So anyway, Butter said, private and charter schools are more advanced now than public schools, and I'm gonna tell you this.
Always have been, really.
I'm gonna tell you this because I feel like this, and this is so messed up. Private, like my parents, when I was going to private school, they were paying like $27.50 a year for me to go to school. I had to pay for my books, which probably came up to like $800 a year. So back in those days, that was really expensive. Yeah, that was expensive. Yeah, so shit. Nowadays, these schools is like $40,000 and $50,000. Like I deliver to them over in North Dallas. Like these kids they got college education type shit, and they not taking advantage of it. But
they got parents that's preparing them to walk into a six-figure job, not even a day after before they graduate from a so-called Institute of Higher Learning.
The school that I went to, which, like I said, it was like $27.50 that we was paying. Your parents, when you pay that, when my mother used to be like, "Listen, I'm giving you my hard-earned money. You better pay attention. You better come back from around that corner knowing something." But now you got these kids in these public schools and I'm not trying to say that all parents are like this, but you got most of the teachers got to fight the students. They jumping on jumping on the teachers. And the parents ain't never going up to the school to see what their kids is up there doing. They just doing what they want to do. They just looking at the club at the schools like it's a club.
Well, half of the children, and I'm speaking from experience, and I'm not even going to go into the demographic or even the neighborhoods, but let's just say this: what I observed is half of the children that come to school today, they're raising their parents.
Yes.
Depending on the mentality, they're raising their parents. The parents are trying to still live through their children.
Yeah, they're being their kids' friends.
Yeah, exactly. They're busy. Yeah. They're busy being friends. Yeah,
because my mom used to say, she used to tell my dad all the time, because my dad used to try to be our friends, and she used to be like, if you play with a puppy, they'll lick you in the face. Meaning they won't respect you. You know what I'm saying? Because we used to play with my dad. See, we was a psych kids. We'd do something psych. My mama used to be like, psych your ass. Yeah. My mama ain't play that psych shit.
Shout out to Brooklyn, Illinois.
Games. Right, my mama, we'd do something and we'd tell my mama, my daddy, psych. My mama say, don't let psych get your ass whooped, okay? My mama was not no joke, y'all.
Well, before I called my case, I was finna leave. I got so fed up one day. I went to the teacher's lounge. Went in at the time we had the yellow pages. I started looking at Coke, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, and seeing who's finna hire me to train me to drive that 53-footer, because I was getting up out that class, because when I seen children want to box with me over their cell phones, so now I got to box with you. And then I got to deal with your parent, because your parent is sensitive and caught up in their itty bitty feelings about me doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Doing what I'm doing, what you're supposed to be doing. And then the principals, because they have to protect their job and because of the sensitive nature of their role, I'm getting criticized all the time. Look, I'm going to tell you, my partner, Mr. Walker, shout out Mr. Walker, wherever you are, out of Dallas Independent School District, man, old school Omega Psi, cool dude, man. He told me one day, he said, Bradley, I want you to remember this. The principals are scared of the superintendents. The teachers are scared of the principals. The children have no fear, and they are the most important commodity in that school, and you will lose your job over them, and you will be in the right.
Yep,
man. Look here.
And the thing about it is, like it like you said, everything when it comes to teaching your kids about their history, that started at home. Like Butter said, she's a parent that she said her child is trilingual. Okay, well, I mean, now that's something in this day and age. She said her kid knows, what was it? English, Spanish, and Chinese. And I feel like that's like Chinese is like on a whole nother level.
Oh yeah,
but
that's a monetary language.
But I wish that I knew Spanish, because I'm telling you, it's like Spanish needs to be a second language in everyone's household, for real.
I told you in training that you better know your Espanol.
Lincoln James, that's my girl. She said, understanding comes from education. I have conversations with my friends, kids, and a lot of them don't know their history, no matter their ethnic group. And that's really sad. Because
so you don't know your history. You really don't know who you are. You have no identity. So pretty much what teaches you is the silver screen, the television, and social media. And the majority of that, 90% of that, is false information.
But the thing about it is, it's like, to me, like, the comparison that I can use is that my mother made sure that we knew our family. You know what I'm saying?
You said the key word,
right.
The household.
My mother made sure that I knew my cousins. She made sure that I knew, all our extended family or whatever. Right. And that's like being, it's teaching. And I feel like that's how you have to do it about your history. Like, you have to teach outside of your home, what's going on, your heritage, your lineage, like all of that stuff goes into knowing where you came from. And it don't just go in your family, it's as a people, as a whole ethnic group, where you came from. That's so important for people to know.
Carter G. Woodson said in Miseducation of the Negro, if you don't know your past, you will definitely not know your future, because history is cyclical. The things that you experience today was done in the past in some way, form, or fashion.
Yeah, it repeats it all. It's repeating.
All they do is just revise it and implement it on society again in a new version.
Yep.
That's all it is. So if you don't know about it, you won't know what they're preparing. We had griots. The griots passed the stories down to the youth through their faithful breasts. They stored it within them because they understood that their bodies were not only repositories of faith, but they were also what they call in scriptures living epistles.
But they don't want you to know that, because the kids are, because they're embarrassed. They don't want you to know about those type of things.
It don't matter.
I
know. Don't want to know. Back in that day, before the 1954 Brown versus Board of Education of Topeka, Kansas, when our neighborhoods were still somewhat a cohesive unit, even though they had issues, we stuck together and we found all. Yeah,
but you don't have that nowadays.
Yeah,
you got when kids come home, their parents 9 times out of 10 ain't even there.
Or they on the phone. Or they on the phone.
Right. They sitting there, they go to a dinner. You can go out to any restaurant right now. That's when you used to ask your kids, how was your week? How was school? What's going on with your husband at work or whatever? You would have those conversations. Now you go out to dinner and everybody is looking down in their phone.
So
everybody is not, you don't know what's going on with your kids. People like these motherfuckers right here. And this is our next topic, like the Nashville school shooting.
Oh yeah.
She wrote her suicide note on what you call it. So look, y'all, that's where we going next with the Nashville school shooting. But go ahead, make your point.
Well, Tricknology, and I'm gonna take a page out the Nation of Islam. Tricknology has created numerous distractions to keep everybody preoccupied, and nobody is paying attention to everything that's under their very nose.
Here go my friend Lincoln. She said my African American education started in college with the books before the Mayflower. Most black friends I know haven't even ever read it or know the history in it. I haven't.
Leron Bennett.
I haven't read it. Never even heard of it.
Before the Mayflower. Yeah, that's Leron Bennett. See, that's in the vein of Sheikh Anta Diop. That's in the vein of Ivan Van Sertima. That's in the vein of Michael Bradley. That's in the vein of Chancellor Williams, Naeem Akbar. A lot of historians that add a historical perspective to help you understand, why you're in your circumstance now. But you can go beyond that too, and also recognize that we were here before the Mayflower, as well as brought over on vessels.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, like, they try to make it seem like, and this is I'm gonna say this and we're gonna cut it off, we're gonna go to the next conversation. Word. They try to say that Christopher Columbus discovered America.
Well, they all know that now. Anyway.
They know that shit is not true. But the thing about it is, how is it that you can even say that this is my thing. This does not reflect. This does not reflect. Right, they will celebrate that, but they won't celebrate Martin Luther King birthday. But anyway, the thing about it is, like, this is no way reflects the podcast studio. This is just my own personal opinion. How can you say that Native Americans, and that's what really messes me up, Native Americans were the only people that were here when you got all these little Caribbean like countries that's like right here? Like, so you mean to tell me ain't nobody get on a boat and come over here and see what was going on? They get out on little boats and go fishing and looking for food or whatever, and nobody came over here? You're not giving our people enough credit.
Well, all you got to go do is study the travels of Mansa Musa.
We was here.
Go look at the statues on Easter Island, or go study who the Toltecs were, as well as the Olmecs. You know, all of these individuals resided in this country well before European colonization or the mid-Atlantic mid-Atlantic slave trade, or the voyages of the individuals called Zhang Hai or Magellan or Vasco da Gama or Cabeza de Vaca or Alfred Pineda or what was the other individual name? Did I say Vasco da Gama?
I don't know. You got a whole list, and we about to keep on going.
Go ahead, before any of those,
right? Before we get the point, yeah. No, but okay, so look, the next topic that we want to talk about is something that is very, very heartbreaking to me. Now, yesterday, it was brought to my attention that it was a mass shooting in Nashville at an elementary school. So we're going to bring up the article right now. This is like one of the pictures that the police had released. This picture right here is
Bowling for Columbine.
This is the picture of the shooter. She entered the school. I know that you guys have seen like the videos of the police entering the building or whatever. Yeah.
So like a straight up
military. So wait a minute. Hold on. This is the picture of the shooter. Okay.
Right.
So now this, I'm not for sure of I think the name of the lady name is, because it's a woman, okay, that did the shooting.
Yeah, it was 3 teachers killed, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 3 teachers. No, it was 2 teachers. There was a principal, a teacher, a janitor, and 3 children. So it was 3 adults. It was 2 white women, 1 black man, and 3 white children that were killed at the school.
So basically,
all 9-year-olds,
employees, and 3 children.
Yeah. They all had been at the school for like 21 years. It was the janitor, the principal. This is a former student of this school.
I'm gonna say it like Paul Mooney, the late great Paul Mooney. It's the end out here. It is nothing but.
So, but listen to me. This is what I want to say, and then we can go into the conversation about this. Now, one of the things that really, really angers me about this situation here is that when the news report first came through, the news people were, I guess they had did their research on the killer, on the shooter, and all they wanted to talk about, they were using, because she's transgender, this lady is. And they were like wanting to use the right pronouns. So they never would say she entered the school. They were like, they entered the school. There's a shooter that has been, they entered the school. Let's talk about the Congress members posting pictures of Nashville with quotes like, they were as girl pronouns. Now, yes, they're trying to make this a trans issue, and it's a gun and mental health issue. Lincoln, hold the line. Hold the line, Lincoln. This is what I want to say. Now, let me say this, okay? Because
that's to push the agenda.
So, yes, but wait a minute. This is what I want to say. I'm watching the news, and they would not say that it was a she. They were so busy trying to use the right pronouns that they were not identifying. Like, these people like are watching this shit on the news, and like, just say for instance, a parent is watching this, right? So a parent sees that this is going on at the school, or however you get alerted to it or whatever. You don't, just because you want to, and I'm gonna say this once again. This does not reflect the podcast studio. This is merely my opinion. But my thing is, you so busy trying to make sure that you use the right transgender that you can't even report the news the way it's supposed to. So I don't even know what I'm looking for because you want to be politically correct. I don't know if it's a woman in there shooting, a man in there shooting, because you are so want to tiptoe around the transgender thing that you are reporting it based upon that. The respect for that, and I'm not trying, I don't want you guys to take this wrong, but the respect for that community, I ain't gonna say it goes secondary to what's going on here.
Well, we'll get into that after you come back, but I'll say this: they busy trying to do that because you conflicting between the way that you would normally address this, as opposed to what that teleprompter or your superiors want you to say. So, since it hasn't probably been rehearsed enough to where you can say that in the manner that they want.
It was live TV.
So
there was not. Yeah. So my thing is, say there is a shooter at the school.
That's the point.
She is a former student,
and she can't, or he can't.
But right, because but the thing about it is, so mind you, you telling me that I somehow learned that it's an active shooter, and I know this is far-fetched. Okay, what I'm saying is I know that this is far-fetched, but I get learned that there is an active shooter at the school. I hurry up and go there because my kid is there, because I'm telling you, ain't nothing gonna keep me away if I have I don't have any children, but my nephew or whatever, ain't nothing gonna keep me away, so I'm going straight there. But because you trying to protect the LGBTQ plus community, you want to make sure that you use the right verbiage and you ain't just calling a spade a spade. Now this shit is getting out of hand. It's just too much.
Might as well go to commercial because you'll be all.
I'm just saying. It's crazy to me that they just not, and it's like they just released the pictures of, they released the body cam footage.
Yeah.
Then they released the pictures of the victims, but it's just everything. The transgender this, and she wants to be identified as, and you look on her page and she prefers to be identified. Why are we giving so much attention to this aspect when there are families out here that have just lost their children? It's like you're trying to give educate. This is not a learning moment. This is a moment that we are supposed to be feeling empathy for people that have lost their. People were planning weddings. People were that were saying, one day I'm going to walk my daughter down the aisle. One day I'm going to watch my son walk across the stage and graduate. Or this Easter is coming up. I'm out buying Easter dresses and Easter baskets, planning Easter egg hunts, and you talking about she, them, he, her, that. Where are we in this world right now? It shows
you what type of society you live in, but go ahead and go to your commercial.
I can't believe it.
You're not going to be able to get it.
I can't believe
it. It's going to prevent you from, taking your time.
But the thing about it is well, I want to say this. I want to say that one of the things, I was having this conversation with a friend of mine earlier today, and we were talking about they are giving so much energy into making sure that different groups or people are protected. Blacks are not one. Okay. They're giving so much energy to making sure that you don't say something.
Asian hate.
Right. That making sure you don't say something to offend.
Blacks took up that banner more than the Asians.
Right.
And the Asians was popping them.
During the thing that was going on when they just had the Asian, when they just passed a law on Asian about the Asian hate crimes and all that. I told them, I said, let me tell you something. I was like, the only thing that I can say to the Asian community is what we've been telling black folks from day one: keep your head on the motherfucking swivel. Okay, make sure that you watch your surroundings and make sure, because that's what we had to do. We had to walk into the room backwards because we knew. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We had to walk out the room backwards because we knew that we had a target on our back by everybody. Everybody.
If you can get a clip of last night's Jimmy Kimmel Live, please go listen to the end of that.
They use it due to the fact that in the world today, you have to be careful on the words, especially when it comes to their job, and avoid protests
because of legislation. But I'm telling you, don't go to your commercial because
yeah,
you'll be all night.
But the thing about it is, and I understand, and it's sometimes okay when we have time to use the proper pronouns and what you want to be addressed as, you know what I'm saying? Then let's do. But when you reporting about this, you ain't even talking. You're talking about the shooting, but you ain't talking about the shooting. What you're really talking about is that it's a transgender person that's doing it, and then you want to make sure that you use the right pronouns and all of that stuff. That you ain't really reporting what the fuck is going on because you want to make sure that you're using the right pronouns. Like, come on.
That's the whole thing when Kyrie Irving was being interviewed after the games. You know, he kept trying to tell him, "Look, man, can't you talk about something else? This doesn't have to be totally about the so-called disrespect or my supporting a certain link. Move on."
Yes.
Eddie said talking about the same thing, and it's only coming from you. But and that's how I got to go. But you know, I digress for the progress, which I suggest is best later. For the rest of the mess, I suggest.
You know what? At the end of the day, you are what you are born. Remember, you cannot change legal documents. She was a woman, absolutely.
She is a woman.
She was a woman. Yeah, because she.
Yeah,
but the thing about it is, let me say this though, and this is what I worry about. Okay, because so now I was talking to my friend, and they were talking about if you identify as a woman, then you should be able to. They are letting people that identify as being a woman participate in female sports,
which is very.
They were. Now they're saying that they're gonna stop it now, but they were letting women. They let you go to the bathroom. You fuck around and go to the bathroom, and it's a transgender in there, and you tell them to get out. You in trouble. Yeah. Right, but the thing about it is what's crazy to me is you got these people. And this is where I'm going on another route of this is you got some people that are really hiding their mental issues by saying they're transgender. What about these people that are dressing up as women now because their transgender is accepted and they're going into the bathroom and messing with these little kids, or that they in the school? I got a picture of a teacher. Breezy, put the picture up for me.
That's what Jussie Smollett did.
Hold on, wait a minute. Look at this right here. Look at this.
That's the issue of trying to really just promote the issues of transgender violence or aggression.
This right here is a teacher.
Yeah.
This is a teacher in a school. He is a shop teacher. This is how he comes to work. And the parents were going crazy, but they said that he has a right because he is transgender. And so he had on prosthetic breasts, and this is the way he is coming to school. Now, you can't tell me this ain't no mental issue.
I'll give you my take on it later, because I'm going to go in.
Come on now. You can't tell me that this is, people are using that, and it's like they able, because you cannot say anything to different groups of people, but they are taking they identify with this, and I'm transgender, to hold their to overshadow their mental issues. You know what I'm saying?
There's going to be benefits that come with that.
Absolutely.
Just like you ever heard of Dawes Roll?
No, what is that?
The Dawes Roll was a list of benefits that were given to the so-called Indian because of his recognition and connection to the heritage. This is where you get the term $5 Indian from. Certain Indians, so-called Indians anyway, they got benefits and privileges because of their Indian heritage, their Indian ancestry. So what the Europeans started doing was to get on that, to get some of that money, they started claiming that they were so-called Indian and they would get the benefit.
Oh, wow.
So now all you got pretty soon in the moment, you're going to be like, look here, I'm homosexual.
Yes.
Give my money.
Yes.
This legislation It's supposed to protect
you. Can't right. You can't fire me from my job because you're
just as powerful as
right.
Hoffa in the union.
Yeah, they are like you're not going to be able to fire me because I'm transgender and you're discriminating against me because of this or whatever. It's going to be like you're going to have to tiptoe around this shit so much, like it's crazy. And Lincoln James said that teacher doesn't dress like that outside of school. Now, one of the things that brought me to trans teacher was these size prosthetic breasts dresses as a man outside of school, or so his neighbor says.
I can believe it because I mean everything they do is over exaggerated to make sure that they push the issue and that you
dresses
know.
As man because outside of school.
I mean, there was a time where whoever called themselves let's say and I'm gonna just say it, transvestite, you knew that because they were trying to dress that, but those that was considered themselves homosexual or gay or whatever you want to call it, it's so many different titles for the classifications, categorizations. There was a time where you may know it if you seen them all the time and you was able to observe their mannerisms, you was able to observe their gestures, you was able to observe their pantomimes, you was able to observe all of these different things. But there was a certain group that you were only able to know that if you were in a group, and you would never know this. But now there's so much an issue, there's so much a push to make sure you know that I am out there like this. I am out the closet. I am everyone.
And the thing about it is now, my thing is, I am not saying that they don't have a right to be out of the closet. I feel like they have a right to be out of the closet, but do not give you. But let's treat
some of it is just too extra.
But the thing about it is, you can do what you want to do, but don't make things like people.
That's right.
Breezy. Yeah, right. Breezy.
It's like they used to have,
she said that LGBT has more rights than African Americans, and she's both. And what's crazy about it? But
that was terrible because the dogs was first.
Right.
I mean, no, the dogs and the Jews was before the blacks. You was third on the totem pole, just like today. You're a third-class citizen.
But I think you have a right to do what you want to do. You got a right to be who you want to be, love who you want to love, whatever. But the thing about it is don't make us where we got to tiptoe around you, or we can't say this like how it is. You can't even say nothing about the Jews. You can't say nothing about the Jews. You can't say nothing about the LGBT. And one person that I love is Dave Chappelle, because he is like funny as shit. Like he talks shit about the gays, and it be funny. And we live in this cancel culture. You say something, you know what I'm saying? And I promise you, every time I get on this show and I talk about something, I be like, Lord, one day if I become famous, they're gonna go back and they're gonna look at this tape and they're gonna tell me that I can't host the Oscars, goddammit.
And I'm gonna say this too. I don't have a problem, and let it be known, I'm not homophobic. I don't have a problem against them. I don't have a problem against the so-called Jews. I don't really. But my thing is, whenever, let's say, speaking, or even for the comedians telling jokes, whenever it's weaponized and mechanized, so to speak, with all the different devices and tools, whenever these things are weaponized and mechanized against us, now it become a problem, because it's like, can I live?
Yeah.
I'm all true man like Alexander O'Neal. I ain't ashamed of myself. I'm gonna represent that toxic masculinity if toxic masculinity means being a man. You know what I'm saying? They are trying to effeminize us. They're trying to emasculate us. They're trying to make it to the point where if you stand up and you be anything like, let's say, the images that individuals such as like Jim Brown or Fred Williamson or Roscoe Orman or what's his name?
They need to call you List.
What's his name?
Got more List than anybody I know.
Robert Hooks, that made the original Mr. T in Trouble Man. These images were strong, man.
Yeah.
Talk about they were strong. Matter of fact, in some cases they looked menacing. But one thing for certain, you didn't play, which that's why I say it's an agenda, because you separate the black man, or you effeminize a black man, you don't have no fight, because the testosterone, the strength, the masculinity came from us, because we had a duty not only to protect our women and children, but like Brother El Haj Malik.
Well, they don't quit that job, honey. They don't do that no more, honey. Listen,
we're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the image that's being conveyed, yeah, but it's just like this diluted style of hip hop today. You have to dig to really find that which is pure. You have to actually be.
Yeah, but who want to do all of that?
Yeah, but it's just
you got to dig.
Listen, it has nothing to do with who wants to do all of that. It has more to do with it has to be done, or otherwise you aren't going to exist.
But, but the thing about it is that my thing is, and correct me if I'm wrong, when you say you have to dig, that
was just an example for music.
No,
I'm just saying you have to be on the scene to see that there are a lot of groups and organizations out there really doing it. But they are not going to be shown. Just like I was saying, it's a whole lot of good hip hop music out here. But all you gonna get is all you gonna get is I've been traveling around the world, presidential Rolex. That's all you getting.
Right.
You don't have no more diversity in hip hop. Whereas back in the day, I'm not saying
you used to have Arrested Development.
Yes, you had everything.
You used to have all type of shit.
Now they take
now everything sounds the same.
All of it sounds the same.
It all do.
And if you listen to it, I guarantee you, if you start listening to it at the age of 6, by the age of 12, you hate yourself and everything that looks like you.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is nothing loving in the music, and there's nothing loving in the images that's conveyed on TV, unless black men are with something that's well lighter than them, and you being effeminized.
No, that ain't true.
Man, look,
light-skinned dudes is out. Light-skinned dudes is out.
You ain't even listening. I said you got a black man with something lighter than him, which means most likely white, damn near white.
Yeah, I get you.
Or white. Yeah. It's what it is. You see it in the commercials. You see it in the movies.
Yeah.
You have very few images of a strong, cohesive black family. And that's by design, by social engineering.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Okay, so I got one more clip that I want to show. I got one more thing that
you ain't going no commercial.
No, we about to go off because we done been on for hours.
I know about to say.
So look, we got one more. I got one more little thing that I want to. Everybody talks shit about Candace Owens. I can't stand her, to be completely honest. But the thing about it is today she put up a tweet.
Say what you want.
But I don't care.
I don't agree with everything too, but every now and then she drops some jewels.
Yeah.
Take it how you want it.
Okay.
But you can sift through her and you be okay. You wrote her. You killed that right
you
there.
You have to sift through it. Like you gotta dig deep. Like
exactly.
Music, okay?
Yeah.
You gotta dig deep.
Exactly.
And it's just like it's no different between her and Kevin Samuels. Like people be like,
Kevin Samuels, he's the other one.
Yeah, well, fuck Kevin Samuels. He done bust hell wide open. Okay,
brother's gone, but
yeah.
Hey,
see you later. No, but look,
I mean, you got to be disciplined enough to be able to recognize what's true and what's false.
Yeah, but
truth is your only source
just
of
because
power.
you say it's just
I get it. I agree.
Because you say, some people agree with her. Now today, I'm not necessarily agreeing with what she says, but I'm just saying it's something to chew on. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's what I just said.
Hold on, but I'm not. I'm just saying it's something that is like it addresses the issues that's going on right now.
Right.
It's her perspective. Yeah, it's. I don't think it's a jewel. I think it's her perspective.
I'm saying,
and it gives you a way to. It gives you another thing, another hat to put in the ring. But today, her tweet or whenever her tweet was, it was said. She said, "Transgenderism is a mental illness. Keep your children away from transgender individuals and their parents. People who support and encourage this are monsters and should be similarly kept away from children." That is hardcore where she said, like, that's harsh.
Well, if you go right now,
and I want to see how they gonna handle her with that after this.
Certain parts of Al-Kiba line, they about to start locking you up or killing you for doing something that's unnatural.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you put all of them on the island. They can't produce, so they have to go adopt or purchase in order to reproduce or receive artificial insemination.
I understand what you're saying, but this woman says that transgenderism, not some people that, because like I say, I say some people that are choosing to live the transgender lifestyle or are
starting, a lifestyle,
right? Or
something that you're natural born with. It's a lifestyle.
Listen to me. Some people that are choosing to hide behind this word of being transgender now, they are picking it up, and it's because they have some kind of mental issue. I have known, like, it was dudes in my neighborhood growing up that they were crazy as a box of rocks, and they would dress as women. You know what I'm saying? They would put on the skirt, they put on the wig, and they'd be walking around, and they weren't a bit more transgender than nothing. But if they was to do that today, you better not say nothing to them. They would hold them in high regards or whatever, and they wouldn't even be getting the help that they really need, because they would be looking at it like, this is a transgender and they got a right to to express themselves or whatever, and not even giving them that mental health that they really need. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, I was laughing because when you said it, I think about Henry Winkler in that what was that, the Water Boy, when he had that wig on and them high heels, and he like, I hate it.
But back in the day, it was like Tootsie. Remember Tootsie?
Oh man, that's been out
Medea.
There. But now today it's
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They've been doing it, but it was
none of them men's image was compromised. Court of public opinion burns ours, and then there's so much, I like to think, neutralizing of an image when ours do that. It's
you
almost
can take
like
that
a
down,
ritual.
Breezy.
It's almost like a ritual. But I'll say this, and you can have it from here. You know what I'm saying? All of it is a diabolical agenda levied against society so that society can be controlled. No man, woman, or child is immune to it. All right? They're trying to create a false sense of utopia. And America, you cannot bear ripe fruit from a rotten tree. Things are not, and I hate to say this, and I like to be optimistic because of my mind state, but things are not about to get better.
No,
out here.
They're not.
Banks collapsing.
Yeah.
And banks is already create money out of thin air as a result of the fractional reserve lending system.
Yeah.
You got banks collapsing.
Things are not getting better.
You got individuals creating, basically creating diseases.
It's just,
my thing. So many different things that work against us and keep us in a perpetual state of fear. It's like you will always remain in purgatory.
Yeah.
You can never get a leg up. And they've created a circumstance with us where you have to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. Who wants to be subject to that every day? You can't. They say right now, every week, it's a school shooting, whether it's a mass killing or whether it's, let's say, a dispute outside of the school, like after school, or let's say even in between schools. That is a dominant mind state out here, man, that's so counterproductive.
Let me say this. We gotta wrap it up. We gotta wrap up.
Cope anymore.
The thing about it is, like you said, people, I do agree with that. People don't cope no more. But the thing about it is like, I grew up in Detroit, okay? Grew up in the heart of the city, 6 Mile and Greenfield area, okay? People used to go up to schools and have shootouts at the schools or whatever. That shit ain't even make the news. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's most time our neighborhood.
Yeah,
where they don't care if we kill each
other. But the thing about it is that I also blame the media for putting this shit out there like that, because there's a lot of copycat people. But
they have to do that because they have to project images all over the world that you are a scum of the earth.
Yeah, but the thing about it, I feel like in Boys in the Hood, I don't know if they don't know what's going on in the hood or they just don't care.
They just don't care.
Right.
You are less than a magnet
right
here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You
but
got
anyway,
1% of the world's worth. You don't own anything. You are less than a maggot, and you are happy with church, liquor store, Chinese joint, rib joint, fried food joint, schools that still look like something that came out of the 1940s, while they schools looking like Harvard University. You still get crumbs off the table and be happy with it. That's what Stockholm syndrome is. It's like where they give you so much of what's bad to where when you get just a tad bit good, you happy with it because it's way more than what you had, and it's still nothing. So you said something earlier, right? That we made progress. Okay, watch this. If LeBron James has a $90 million contract, once again, what you think that owner got? Whenever we have something right here, they was right here way back then. So if we right here, they there.
And I'm not listen, I'm not comparing myself.
I get it, but
comparing our culture. See, the thing about it is
we got a long way to go.
Yes, we do. And this is all for a whole nother show.
We ain't gonna see it.
Yeah, but right. I
mean, you're not gonna see whatever
because
happens.
the thing about it is when they give us an
opportunity,
when the George Floyd shit blew up and everything, and everybody was giving apologies and taking the Aunt Jemima off the box and doing all this and all that type of shit. Right, when they was doing all of that shit, we did not take that. We had motherfuckers like, who was it that went to the White House and spoke on our behalf? Lil Wayne or some shit like that.
Cardi B.
Like, come on, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Well, he told you that you ain't black if you don't vote for him. So they black. Yeah, because they voted for him.
I feel like this. I'm not comparing. I'm not worried about the other folks. I'm not.
Right.
I'm worried about my people.
Dig it.
And I want my young kids to know that if they try hard and if they work hard, you're going to have people against you. Don't get me wrong. You got to work a little bit harder. But you got to learn the game. You got to play the game in order to get where you need to be and then show out. You know what I'm saying? I want my little nephews to know about Black history. That is important to me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I want them to see that people died to get to where we are right now. It was sit-ins, it was protests, it was people getting killed and lynched and all of that type of shit. Strange fruit. I want them to know that. But this is where we are right now. And you are the people that can put us over a little bit more of a hump. You know what I'm saying? Because I might, like my mother used to tell me, I may not live to see this. But I'm instilling in you, so when my race is over, you can continue with the race and keep putting us ahead a little bit more, a little bit more. It takes strides. So anyway, y'all, I'm gonna wrap up.
You got to destroy it all and rebuild it.
Yeah. I don't know, but anyway,
that's what it is.
I just want to say,
exist under their system.
I just want to say thank you for coming in. I know this was last minute. We always have good, healthy dialogue. Healthy, go back and forth. You challenged me, and I really appreciate it.
Try to get some of them Negroes at the warehouse, man. You can't talk to some of them, but some of them you can, but some of them you can't.
So listen, y'all. I want to let you guys know that I'm trying to get some. When I was in Houston last weekend, I talked to some really interesting people, and hopefully, I'll be having a great interview on the show in the next couple weeks or so. So I just want you guys to continue to tune in. Please share my content, subscribe to my channel, give me the thumbs up. Hit the notification button so the next time I go live that you guys will be alerted to it. I will be deleting my live off of my page and I will be sharing my YouTube link. So therefore, if you want to see this show, you're going to have to go to YouTube to check it out. It will be on my page. However, the live won't be there anymore. So anyway, all right, y'all. It was a great week. Thank y'all for tuning in. I know there's a lot of other things that y'all could have been doing on this whack-ass Tuesday.
Once again, hey, shout out to Venice, Brooklyn, Madison, Newport, East St. Louis, Edwardsville, Illinois.
Everything you list is whoever taught you how to make a list need their ass whoop, okay? Because you make grocery lists when you go to the grocery store, don't you?
Well, like the folk in New Orleans say, I make groceries.
I know you do. But anyway, all right, my friend. It was a pleasure having you here. Thank you so much. I love you for coming. All right, y'all. Peace out. I'll talk to y'all later. See y'all next time.
Peace and violence.